Hello, Miami University and all Oxford community. I'm Mackenzie.
And I'm Jonathan, your co-host for tonight's show. Thank you for tuning in to Miami Television News.
Welcome back, Miami. As our spring semester kicks off here on campus, many students and staff are adjusting to having in-person classes again. While having some in-person classes is bringing back a sense of normalcy, those on campus have to follow the Healthy Together pledge by wearing masks and taking recurring COVID tests. MTN members Danielle Porter and Zoltan Feldman had the opportunity to speak with a few Miami students about these changes.
So did you have any in-person classes last semester?
I did. I had one in-person class part-time, and it was a journalism and ethics class, and we did our mock trials in person to add to like a more effective learning experience.
Great. And how many in-person classes do you have this semester?
I have one in-person class this semester, but it's only run part-time in order to fulfill classroom capacity expectations.
Yeah, and what have your professors' rules been coming back into the classroom?
Just to keep your mask on and just to follow guidelines. They have guidelines for tables and stuff, so there's just like markings on where you can and cannot sit in order to fulfill 6 feet social distancing.
Do you feel that the professors in the university are taking the right steps to keep these students safe?
I think so. I mean, I know when we were supposed to get the test at the beginning of the semester, we were given like a card in order to get put back in the classroom. So I think that was an effective step. And just making sure everyone has been tested and retested in order to keep everyone around them safe.
Do these in-person classes help it make it feel like more of a normal school year for you?
Definitely. And I definitely like the in-person classes better. I feel like it adds to my learning experience, and I like getting to meet my classmates and my professors. Like, it adds an extra layer to my educational experience, which is beneficial to me.
Are you doing any kind of group work? And if so, how do you go about that with your peers?
Group work is either over Zoom. In my one in-person class, it's interesting because half the class is online and we do like in-class projects a lot. We will actually have like half of our like team on Zoom and half of our team in class. So when we're together in class, the two of us who are usually together just make sure that we keep our masks on while we're talking, and we're required to keep our computers on Zoom. So when it's time to go out into like our breakout rooms, we're able to communicate with those students who aren't physically in the classroom with us.
Absolutely. And when you're in the classroom, are you in a big lecture hall or are you in a small classroom?
Yeah, so we are in a smaller classroom, but it's definitely interesting because, like I said, the capacity is so small. But also, they only use the bigger classrooms in order to make sure that everyone is 6 feet apart. There's usually only one person to each table, and I'm in Farmer School of Business, so usually there's like 5 or 6 people to a table, Socratic style, like everyone is collaborating and working together. So it's definitely a very different experience.
How have you adjusted personally to having both in-person class and online classes this semester?
There was definitely a big shift. For me personally, technology is one of my weaknesses. So having my phone next to me and not really, holding myself accountable is an issue. But I've obviously learned to just like throw my phone on my bed so that I can't just reach for it while I'm in class, or I mute all of my devices so I'm not getting any notifications in order to, prevent those distractions.
Do you find it distracting being online? And do you find that your professors are distracted being online as well?
I don't know about my professors as much. I think that they're kind of conditioned to it, and they obviously have an objective for each class and they want to fulfill that objective. But I think it is interesting. I have like 1 or 2 asynchronous classes where I don't meet with my professor at all. It's just on an as needed basis. And it is so hard to hold yourself accountable to watch YouTube videos or something like that. That personally is like not my learning style.
Mhm.
But obviously, getting to acclimate with it and creating a schedule for myself and making sure that all of my deadlines are met is good. I'm a really organized person, so planning isn't hard for me, but actually forcing myself to do the work is a little bigger of a step. But I've, like I said, accommodated and adjusted very well.
Do you think the university should continue to implement more in-person classes?
Yes, I do. I miss, being in the classroom. I miss like being on campus walking to class, like passing people. It's just so weird now. And I do miss the face-to-face aspect. And I think that there's benefits from just sitting in a classroom and getting to feed off of other people's like advice and experiences and getting to learn from my peers. So I definitely do miss it a lot.
Miami recently announced that the deadline to take classes, credit or no credit, will be available until April 1st. This is in response to a petition that ASG started to extend the deadline. And in other news, Miami is planning to add a real estate and robotics minor while also creating a department for sports leadership and management.
Over J-term, new construction began on the $96 million Health Sciences building near the Rec Center. This building will be home to nursing and kinesiology majors and is scheduled to open in 2023. Construction is also underway in other parts of the university. A new statue for former basketball star Wayne Embry will be placed at the entrance to Millett Hall and is set to be dedicated later this spring. MTN's own Cassidy Duffy is here to tell us more about Miami's efforts to honor Embry.
Earlier this year, Miami University announced that it will be building a statue in honor of the legendary basketball player Wayne Embry. Today, we will take a closer look into who Wayne Embry is and his remarkable basketball legacy. Wayne Embry attended Miami University from 1954 to 1958 and was one of the first African-American student athletes at the university. During his career at Miami, Embry scored 1,401 points and still remains as one of the university's top 12 scorers. He was inducted into Miami University's Athletics Hall of Fame in 1970 and is one of 6 players of the men's basketball team to have his number retired. After his career at Miami, Embry began a 50-year career in the NBA. He played for the Cincinnati Royals in 1958 until 1966, where he started playing for the Boston Celtics. He played for the Celtics until 1968, and then played for the Milwaukee Bucks from 1968 to 1969. Embry retired as a player and became an assistant manager for the Milwaukee Bucks. He rose through the ranks quickly and became the very first African-American general manager in the NBA. He has managed the Bucks, the Cleveland Cavaliers, and the Toronto Raptors. Embry's impressive career has led him to win numerous awards, achievements, and acknowledgments. Miami will be building the statue in front of Millett Hall, showing him in his signature hook shot in the spring of 2021. In addition to this statue, the school will be creating the Wayne Embry Scholarship to support the Miami University varsity men's basketball players. Wayne Embry was an incredible athlete who broke down racial barriers at both Miami University and in the NBA. His achievements did not go unnoticed, and this statue will help honor his legacy and remind students of his excellence.
The residence halls are continuing to see a number of cases, but as of February 21st, there are no dorms at level 3 or 4, or with the rest of the halls being in levels 1 and 2. There are also 16 students in isolation and 11 quarantining.
February is Black History Month, and Miami is holding several events to commemorate Black history. MTN's own Lauren Millian has prepared a statement about Miami's plan to honor generations of African Americans and their experiences.
Hi, my name is Lauren Millian, and happy Black History Month. The great Martin Luther King Jr. once said, "We are not makers of history, we are made by history." Here at Miami University, there are events that are occurring all month long in honor of Black History Month. Some of those events include, and are listed, Black Americans at Miami, presented by Seth Seward, Assistant Director of Alumni Groups. The Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Virtual Celebration of Good Trouble, Black Books Matter, and the Nikki Giovanni Essay Scholarship to apply for. Other events that have taken place this month include the Soul Food Lunch and Dinner Celebration, the Experience of Black and Indigenous Panel, and also the Reemergence Project of Racial Justice and Interfaith. These are just some of the ways that student organizations, campus officials, and community members have officiated and partake in Black History Month events. Organizations are honoring Black inventors, educators, doctors, lawyers, first responders, and so much more. Organizations are honoring makers in history via their social media pages. Facebook and Instagram live discussions are being had about Black history, and there are so many ways to contribute, pay homage, and to celebrate Black history. And happy Black History Month.
Organizations around campus have been active with showcasing Black History Month, from MAP to UP. UP blog has been highlighting Black-owned brands the full month. Check them out at upmagazinemu.com.
Congratulations to our new co-president of Miami Television News, Hannah Horsington. We're looking forward to an exciting next chapter with you. That's all we have for today. Thank you so much for tuning in into our first show of the semester. Be sure to check back with us in March for more content. I'm Jonathan.
And I'm Mackenzie. Don't forget to follow us on social media at Miami MTN.